Welcome to RPG Book Club, the podcast where we play a little bit of a video game and talk about how it makes us feel. I'm Sam.
I'm Bernard.
And I'm Trish.
And today we'll be continuing our coverage of Clair Obscur Expedition 33, playing until we reach the back to camp scenes after defeating both axons. But before we get started, how was everyone's week?
So, at work, there's a giant van, and my coworker has been driving the giant van the whole time. But they got a second giant van, so now me and my coworker, we can both drive vans. We can be a lot more efficient now. I was terrified to drive the giant van. I drove the giant van for the first time today. I scraped it against a column in a parking area.
Oh, God.
I didn't get in trouble. My boss was very understanding, but still, I was very upset by this happening. And I don't want to drive the giant van again every day for the rest of my life.
I mean, yeah. Driving cars to me is a nightmare thing. I don't understand how anyone does calmly. But driving an oversized, in any way, vehicle, extra that.
Yeah, I didn't like it. But I have to do it. I love this job. Otherwise. So I got to do it. Other than that, I beat Hollow Knight, and now I'm doing some in-game stuff. I got to an area of the game that's literally just Super Meat Boy, and I hated it. But I beat it, and Hollow Knight's a masterpiece and everything, but that part I'm not so sure about.
So I was whining before about missing my wife, because she's been gone in Europe for 2 weeks. Well, she's not anymore. Yesterday we went and get her, but the entire thing was kind of hilarious because, she was landing she's supposed to land a couple hours after I got off work. So the plan was Emma, our mutual wife, would pick me up from work and drive me to the airport, and then we'd pick her up and go back home. Simple, easy, foolproof. Wrong. So since Marissa's been gone, and Emma's more difficult to contact because she doesn't have a phone that works. And I don't have Discord on my phone anymore. I have been taking the house keys with me to work and to lock up behind me because otherwise I can't lock the door because I don't have an easy way when I get home to be like, hey, let me in. You gotta unlock the door. Marissa's the one who usually does that for me. So I don't want to leave the door unlocked for 6 hours. So, I've been doing that. I do that yesterday, not realizing until I'm at work, oh shit, Emma doesn't have the car keys now. Because the car keys are on the same key ring as the house keys. And I don't have my own house key yet. We keep putting that off because we're all procrastinators here. So that's an issue. And I eventually solve it by messaging I texted one of my partners to message Emma on Discord and tell her, hey, there's a spare car. Trish took the car key. There's a spare one in her room. Use that. So that worked out. It's fine. My wife's home. I love her. I missed her so much. Today, she goes to drive me to work, which is nice because with her gone, I was just walking home and back to work every day, which I'm able to do. But it's nice when I get a little treat of not having to with a ride home or there. So we do that. 2 mistakes were made. 1, the car keys were still in my purse. This seems not to have mattered, because these are those fancy car keys where it's there's no ignition thing. You turn it, you turn the key. It's like a push button, and it just checks to see if the keys are in the thing. So I guess me leaving with the keys in my purse didn't stop the car, and she was able to drive it home. She didn't report any issues with that. So that's good. But the other problem, my phone slipped out of my pocket while I was sitting there, and I didn't realize until after she drove away. So I went through my shift with no phone, and thus no way to contact my wife and let her know that she didn't have the keys. I did. So that was a fun, stressful scenario. I tried calling her multiple times, and it didn't work because her phone still isn't accepting or receiving phone calls. Because she's been having issues getting that fixed, and today she just said, fuck it, I'll do it later. Because she was out of the country for a bit. So that's been the last couple of days for me. It's just been a real comedy of errors situation. But now things are resolved, and I also got in longer shoelaces for my new shoes, so hopefully so I no longer have to go to work wearing shoes that with laces so short that I have to tie them in the smallest, littlest bow tie possible. Anyway, Sam, what about you?
So my week has been weird. So I am going to get a medical procedure done next Friday, and when I was getting my pre-procedure checkup, my doctor was like, "Oh, it looks like the thing that I need to do, I might not be able to do in clinic, which would mean you'd have to go to a specialist and use a scalpel instead of whatever the fuck, however they're getting inside my body." I haven't asked. It sounds weird. But so instead of it being a quick drive down to my clinic, get the procedure done, and then a drive back, it would be who knows how long and complicated getting a real surgery would be. And so because of that, I've been nervous. Uh, just like it's going to suck if I get there and we're all ready and I've mentally prepared for it, and then he finds out that he can't do it, and I have to go get the special one. But so I was nervous from that. I then on Sunday uh ordered some really nice pizza from Glass Nickel Pizza here in Madison. They're fantastic. I love them a lot. But well, they're kind of expensive. So I rationalized it to myself and I was like, "Oh, if I get $40 of pizza, I'm not getting a $40 meal tonight. I'm getting four $10 meals because I live by myself. This is going to last for a while. So that'll be fine." I didn't stop to think about what that would do to my body to just have pizza
Yeah,
for 4 meals straight.
yeah.
And then add on top of that, at work, I've been nervous because I had to turn in the big project I've been working on, and so I was really nervous about how that would go. And because I was working extra hard on it last minute, because I am who I am, I would forget to drink water. And so 2 days ago, I was having heart palpitations, and I was like, "This
Fuck.
doesn't feel bad, but it feels weird. Let me WebMD before I call my doctor and see what it is." And they're like, "Normally they don't mean anything. If it does this, then that's when you should worry." And I didn't have any of those. And it was like, so the ones that you don't need to worry about are usually caused by dehydration, stress, anxiety, and not getting enough nutrients. And so, whoops, I
Whoopsie
almost killed
doodle.
myself this week with pizza. But
Don't do that.
uh, yeah. Other than that, things have been going pretty good. I did turn in the project, and everyone loved the project. So we're moving forward with my app, which is very cool. And then my partner over the weekend was somewhere. I don't even remember where, but there was a board game store, and they go in and they're having a, what was that, Labor Day last week? Labor Day sale. And they had Twilight Imperium on for $130, which is their sticker price, and then they had an additional 20% off because of the sale. So they got me this $200, I do not need it, but I've been window shopping it for around 5 years, board game for about half price, which was awesome. And I set it up with my other partner last night on my big new giant table to see if it was big, new, and giant enough. And not only can it fit a full game of Twilight Imperium, each person has room for a snack and a drink. And
Fuck yeah.
that's so much fucking table. So I'm very excited to probably play this less than 10 times before Twilight 5 comes out, because that's what I did with my third edition copy, is I've played it less than 5 times since I got it before I met Summer. It's a big game. It's hard to get 8 people lined up to play a game for 12 plus hours.
You're correct.
Speaking of playing a game for 12 plus hours.
Yeah. Let's talk about some Clair Obscur Expedition 33.
The expedition heads to an old train station in a snowy mountain in search of Verso's old gestural buddy Minoko. Turns out Minoko's station is inhabited by another mythical species, the Grandis. They're these big furry dudes with rocks on them, who are pretty much the opposite of Gestrals in that they don't like fighting. Speaking of Gestrals liking fighting, a Gestral jumps out of nowhere and strikes at Verso, who effortlessly blocks. This Gestral is, of course, Minoko, and he speaks human language in a very deep voice. Turns out Verso taught him during their time together. This does still raise the question of how the expeditioners understand Gestrals when they're speaking Gestral language, but who cares?
Yeah, in Lumiere, they didn't know that Gestrals were real, but they taught Gestral language just in case. Everybody knows it.
Obviously.
Since he's a Gestral, Minoko wants to fight. Verso warns that Minoko's fighting style is peculiar, and some fucking insane boss battle music plays. When Minoko attacks, he transforms into a Nevron. So that's weird, but we kick his ass. After the fight, Noko runs up, hollering about a Nevron approaching the station. Turns out Noko is Minoko's kid. Or something. I don't really know. There's a lot of lore about how Gestrals exist in a cycle of rebirth, and I think pairs of them will take turns raising each other as one dies and is reborn. I don't really know. It hasn't been laid out plainly. Yeah.
He does call him his son, so yeah, that's how they define it.
But anyway, time to go kill that Nevron that Noko was hollering about. While we fight the Nevron, Minoko tells us about a new mechanic! This one rules, though. I like this one. It's called Gradient Attacks.
I do.
And all it is as you use special moves, a meter charges up, and then you can use the meter's charge to do extra super special moves. So it's very simple.
And it does it the Etrian Odyssey way, where that person, they do it, and then they have their regular turn, too. You don't have to give up anything. You just get an extra turn's worth of fuck you damage.
It's great. I love it. After the fight, Minoko rips off the Nevron's foot and transforms into that Nevron. Verso explains that Minoko can transform into a Nevron by collecting its foot, and says that he is unable to explain further.
No, they don't need to. It's great. It's ridiculous. It's a really fun mechanic.
I fully accept this. Minoko finally asks what brings them here. Verso says they're going to Old Lumiere, and Minoko immediately says okay bye and walks away. Verso goes after him while the girls talk to Noko. Verso gestures to Mael and whispers, "Don't you recognize her?" He says this might be their only shot. Minoko says he will never join Verso again. Verso says there will be a lot of fighting, though, and Minoko says, well, okay, count me in.
It's such a good dialogue exchange.
Yeah, and we've got a blue mage now. Because of course this game is going to have a blue mage. Yeah. Noko says he's coming too, because he wants to go to Old Lumiere and find treasure that he can sell so he can be the best merchant ever. Minoko says, as a responsible parent, this is a superb idea. We play Minoko's tutorial, which we can talk about his mechanics more later if we want. Then the expedition sets out for Old Lumiere. The expedition reaches a ruined city surrounding a crater. There are also a ton of enormous glowing magic swords stuck in the ground. Cool! Verso says the heart is in the center of the city, but they quickly find their way is blocked by some collapsed buildings. At Verso's request, Minoko transforms and blasts the buildings away, but he does too good a job of blasting and knocks everyone out. Lune and Ciel wake up to find Minoko crying because he fucked up and blasted Verso and Mael away. Lune and Ciel are like, whatever, looks like we've got a split party dungeon, let's just get on with it. On the way, Ciel finds what looks like one of Esquier's stones. Convenient. Ciel and Lune talk a bit about whether they should trust Verso. They also wonder, what the fuck is that enormous dead creature with a small city on its back? Minoko's like, I don't know. Lune finds an expedition journal from the 58s, who we might remember were the expedition Verso was traveling with last time he was here. Lune reads something about Verso in the journal and freaks out. She, points the journal at Minoko and asks if this is true. She says they need to go, now, Mael's with him. And I just want to note that we do not know that Mael is with Verso. We just know they're both not with us. We have no way of knowing if they're not with us in the same place.
It's true. That was a big assumption.
True.
It was a correct assumption, but...
Yeah, she was right. Minoko says Verso would never harm Mael, but Lune still, she wants to get going. We now cut to Mael, Verso, and Noko in another part of Old Lumiere. Mael, being a mysterious character, says the ruined city feels like home. Verso, being another mysterious character, says, yeah, feels like home. And I'm like, okay. Mael and Verso do their half of the split party dungeon. And those two are my two big damage dealers. So this half of the dungeon was pretty easy.
Yeah. My Lune was had started to become really, really good at this point. So the other one was pretty easy. And then I get to this one and it was nothing.
Yeah, my Lune is pretty good. I haven't really been doing much with CL. And Minoko I just got, and I'm still figuring out. So that half was a little harder for me, but Mael and Verso can just kill anything, so...
Meanwhile, while my Mael's pretty solid, my Lune and CL are the powerhouses. So that half was the biggest cakewalk that's ever existed. And then the other side with Mael... I thank you so much, Bernard, for giving us some forewarning about the split party dungeon, because otherwise I would not have given... he would have been super underleveled, because I wasn't doing stuff with him, and I wouldn't have given him any, he had almost no Lumina spent. I wasn't doing anything with him. And so instead of being way hard, it was pretty easy, but definitely not as easy as the other half for me.
Yeah, and I mean, I think with how it's designed, it's clear they know it's possible you've been neglecting a character. Like, I've been neglecting CL, you've been neglecting Verso. It's like, they didn't make it crazy hard. But after a while, Verso just fucking disappears. And Mael's like, what the fuck? And Noko's like, don't worry about it. That's just Verso being Verso. Mael continues to the heart of Old Lumiere, where she finds a perfectly intact manor, which Mael finds mysteriously familiar. We run around the wide open area surrounding the manor looking for items, but don't find any.
Same. Ugh.
As Mael approaches the manor, the door opens, and what appears to be a female counterpart to the curator floats on the other side, menacingly. Verso runs at the door, saying he knew they'd open the door for her, but he's blasted away. Renoir steps out of the door and is like, lol, owned. Alicia walks up to Miss Curator and leans against her. The door closes behind Renoir. He and Verso yell more vague things about family at each other. Clearly, there's a deeper history between these two. I wonder what it is. Mael says, move, quote, I'm gonna fucking kill him, unquote. Renoir's like, you haven't told her the truth, have you, son? The rest of the expedition runs up and Lune's like, hey bitch, were you gonna tell us that Renoir is your dad? Versus like, we can talk about this later. We've got to do a boss fight right now. And while I was trying to find the boss music for this on YouTube, I saw some comments, which... if you're looking up the music for this game on YouTube, try not to look at the comments much because you might get spoilers. I avoided spoilers for the most part, but apparently a lot of people find this fight very difficult, but I was fine, so maybe I'm over-leveled.
I was also doing pretty well.
Yeah, I'm not nearly as leveled as Trish is, and I think I was over-leveled for everything this week. So
yeah, I think the way we're playing it, where we have to stop, but we're all enjoying it mechanically so much that we're just doing tons of optional content as we go through the game. I think we're always going to be a little over-leveled. But as you might expect, this is the classic JRPG boss fight that you have to win, but afterwards the party still gets owned. Renoir summons a huge ball of chroma and blasts the expedition. As everyone's standing back up, they find that Noko was killed in the blast. I had thought, wow, last week was heavy, but this week we're going to make a new Gestural buddy. It'll probably be a light one this time. But no, things are going to go bad for that Gestural buddy. Mael swings her sword at Renoir, but it bounces off the energy surrounding him. He says, why can't you accept who you are? He raises his cane, and Verso shouts, Alicia, move, and runs in to block the attack. As their weapons clash, Mael is thrust back into the 4x3 zone. Time is frozen around her, but the door to the manor opens again. Alicia walks out. She and Mael stare at each other. Alicia removes her mask and grabs Mael's arm. The manor is engulfed in flames. Mael asks her name, but Alicia says nothing and walks back into the burning manor.
Are you going to mention the fact that she has Mael's face?
I mean, she has a severely burned face, so you
It's so
could be
good.
forgiven
And the
for
half that was covered up with the mask
Yeah,
is
but
my
it
L.
is my L, but you could totally be like, I'm not sure, maybe it's my L. But yeah, it is my L, and I mean, like, yeah. Uh, anyway, my L returns to the world of widescreen. The manor is gone. Verso yells fuck and does, to quote the subtitles, an angry roar. Back at camp, Ciel gives SKA the rock she found, and Lune's like, hey bitch, about your dad? Verso says he didn't tell them because it's private and painful and none of their business. He told them everything they needed to know. Lune says that's bullshit, and I'm like, yeah, it is.
It's pretty bullshit.
It's absolutely bullshit.
Ciel tries to get everyone to understand where the other's coming from, and it sort of works. Monoko sits down at the fire holding a gestural urn. Lune asks if it's true that the gestrals regenerate, if they can bring Noko back. Monoko says, partially. We can bring Noko back to life, but not all of Noko will return. It will be a different Noko. The one you knew is gone. Verso laments that it was all for naught. The paintress's heart was in that manor, but it's gone now, and they have no way to access the monolith. Lune says the 58 seemed to think he knew another way. And he's like, no, that's a dead end. We'd have to do some boss fights that are, like, way too hard. Turns out the curator can make a weapon that can pierce the barrier surrounding the monolith, but he'll need enormous amounts of pure chroma. The only viable source is the hearts of axons, which are enormous, insanely powerful boss monsters. Verso insists there's no way they could possibly take them down. He says, I can't die, and even I couldn't do it. Lune's like, I just want to do it more now.
So you're saying it's extra difficult? It's a challenge? I'm in.
Yes.
Absolutely the Lune in my game after I've fought and died against Sprong who knows how many times before I killed him.
Verso explains that there are 2 axons that they can get to, and they need exactly 2 axon hearts to get enough chroma for the curator. Convenient. We can fight the axons in either order. Verso recommends doing the easier one first, but Ciel is like, what if we do the hard one first? Because that sounds fun.
It was fun.
Each axon has a dungeon with mini bosses you can fight to weaken it. I'll talk more about that in memorable moments. Not a lot of extremely important stuff happens in these dungeons, but we do get a lot of nice interactions and lore and graphics. There are a couple of developments, though. For example, after the expedition kills the mask-themed Axon Visage, Verso kneels over it and mutters to himself, that was Verso, wasn't it? Renoir? Verso sure is mysterious.
Mm-hmm.
The other Axon, Siren, tries to mesmerize the expedition with visions of their lost loved ones. Maël sees Gustave, Monoko sees Noko, Lune sees an old couple who are presumably her parents. Ciel sees a man who is presumably her late husband who we might have heard about in optional dialogue. The development here is that he's holding a baby and Ciel has definitely never mentioned having had a child.
Yeah, there's several ways to interpret that. None of them are good.
Yeah. Siren's spell doesn't work on Verso. He just stares her down until she gives up and does the boss fight. And yeah, we do manage to kill the Axons. This is not the end of the game, and it doesn't end with the party dying. Verso is wrong. We can beat the bosses. When the expedition brings the first Axon heart to the curator, he'll only accept it if Maël gives it to him. When she hands it to him, she sees Renoir for a split second, though he's wearing civilian clothes and is missing his distinctive face scar. When Maël says she saw Renoir, Verso's like, yeah, randomly seeing Renoir is normal. Don't worry about it.
He said suspiciously, lying.
His excuse is like, yeah, I used to have nightmares about him too. He can be pretty traumatizing. And I'm like, man, Verso. Anyway, between Axon fights, we get a scene at camp where Verso summons a magic piano and plays a song for Maël while SKA dances, and it's great.
It's so good.
Fantastic.
Maël says she feels like she knew that song, and Verso says it's an old song he used to play for her sister. And guys promise to act surprised when it turns out Maël and Alicia are somehow the same person.
I'm not.
You have to act surprised.
I'm not gonna. You can't make me.
Verso will be so disappointed if we don't act surprised.
Good. I want him to be disappointed.
He'll be like,
I'm disappointed in him.
he'll be like, I kept the secret so well. How did you already guess
I'm
it?
imagining, like, every time Verso alludes to that, like, the thing from Arrested Development when Oscar refers to being, what Buster's father, the, like, weird music sting happening. But anyway, When Mael hands the second axon heart to the curator, she enters the 4x3 zone again. Lady Curator floats towards Mael and reaches out to her, but then does some sort of attack or something? I'm not really sure. But Mael returns to the widescreen land and asks why she keeps seeing bullshit. She asks the Curator who he is, but he just stands there menacingly. He turns the axon hearts into a shiny magic sword and hands it to Mael. The expedition now has the barrier breaker and can face the Paintress at the monolith.
Like I'm gonna do that. I got other bullshit to go do. I gotta go kill Sprong.
Yes. So after we select go to sleep at camp, we, of course, do not go to sleep. We see a scene where the expedition sits around the fire being like, dude, whoa, we're actually going to fight the Paintress. That's crazy. Ciel reveals that she discovered that Verso stashed wine inside Esquier. She has Esquier vomit up the wine for them. It's gross.
It's so fucking
Ew.
funny.
Mael doesn't have any because that would be underage drinking. And Verso is like, yeah, I'll leave you to it, and walks off. As Verso stares at the monolith, Alicia walks up and hands him a letter. The envelope says, Une vie à rêver, which I'm not sure exactly what that means, but vie is life and rêver is to dream, so it's something about a life to dream of, or a life of dreams, or a life of dreaming, or something, I don't know. He reaches out to Alicia and removes her mask. He says his beautiful sister doesn't need this ugly mask. They hug, but Renoir's voice says, you embrace her, yet you're condemning her to die. Verso turns to face Renoir. He asks Alicia if she brought him here. She shakes her head. Renoir says he's not here to fight. But my son, do you know what it means to disappear into nothingness? Have you thought through the consequences? Not just for you, but for them. Their memories, their dreams, their love for each other. Who really is the one painting death? And who paints life instead? We exist and we will exist for as long as she wants. You want to spoil what we've been given. Sometimes we paint the bars of our own prison. Your despair blinds you. You think you're ready to pay the price. But are you willing to let them pay the price for you? May everything be decided before their very eyes, between the bars of their prison, in the shadow of the monolith.
It's a pretty good cryptic dialogue, hinting at some interesting stuff. I feel like he definitely got some good points against Verso, but consider who is painting life. I'm like, motherfucker, she's counting down to people's deaths. What are you talking about?
So yeah, whatever all that means, next week we'll go kick the Paintress's ass, and I'm sure there won't be any complications along the way. I don't actually have any insider knowledge or anything. I'm just saying there's probably going to be some complications. Maybe we'll kill the Paintress and then there will be complications. I don't know. I'm just assuming.
Maybe we're about to get a Bravely default. Maybe we're going to kill the Paintress and then the game's going to start over.
Fucking maybe.
No.
I love our new party members' combat mechanics. They're so good.
I love Minoko. I love everything about Minoko. I love him as a character. I love him as a party member. It is so this game to make Kina a fantastic, fun character. Because that's literally what Minoko is. He's the Kina of this game.
I love that because his base stats, whatever, have a lot of defense. I was able to build a tank because everyone else has been very offense focused, and so if I miss an input, I die. But now I have a tank, and if he gets hit, the first time he gets hit, he puts up 3 shields, and then he also takes half damage because of a different Picto, and he also has so much defense normally, and then I gave him defense Pictos and HP Pictos, and so I can survive a lot of things that I absolutely couldn't before.
I gave him a really good heal ability that I've been focusing on a lot. It like applies regen to everyone, and then if you're on the right mask in the bestial wheel, it'll also heal 40% damage. Yeah.
So,
what the fuck that means?
as you'd expect from what we learned about him, taking legs of Necrons, or no, not Necron. What is it? Are they called Necrons?
Nevrons with a V.
Nevrons. He takes legs of Nevrons. As long as he has a leg from a Nevron, he can turn into them. What that translates to is if he's in your party, when you kill an enemy he hasn't been in the party to kill before, he gains a skill that is specific to that enemy. And he doesn't have a skill tree. He just has try to kill enemies with him in the party so you get their legs. And then also, there is the Bestial Wheel. There are 4 basic different kinds of masks that each have a slot on, a set of slots on this wheel. And he starts off in one based usually on the weapon you start him with. Tells him where he starts. And then each one both alters his stats a little bit, and also all of his skills are buffed by one of the kinds of masks. And then there's a special only one tick on the wheel, which is the Almighty one. The Almighty mask is good for everything. It's the fuck you power mode.
Yes.
And all of his skills, when you use them, part of their thing is it tells you how many places on the wheel it will move. So you can know ahead of time, you can plan out the exact through line of moves to use. Because it's entirely within your control.
Yeah, I love it. And I've gotten...
He gets some really awesome moves!
He does! And, I have a weapon for him.
His basic move is fantastic. The one he gets in the cutscene with the ice
very
dude.
Good.
He starts off with a kick-ass move, and it's all right, I'm gonna keep him.
And I think it's a weapon for him where if I use an upgraded move, which means I am using a move with the corresponding mask that buffs it, then everyone gets 1 AP.
Mm-hmm.
And that's real nice.
Yeah.
And the thing is, I only ever do that. I almost never use a move that isn't the one he's currently suited towards. Because, I have a good loadout for him where, they're all good moves to use. Why not? Why not always use the one that's the best one currently?
Yeah.
And it's always fun killing an enemy and then checking and seeing, is this balanced mask move better than the balanced mask moves I have now? Do I want this over that?
Yeah. It's great. I love it. I love Monoko.
I also love that all you have to do to blue mage with him is to beat it, because when I was leaving the Grandis station and they were like, by the way, don't go here, it's dangerous, you're looking for that door over there. I said, cool, I have 4 days till we record, I don't have to go to Lumiere yet. And so I went and I climbed the mountain, and it's really fucking hard, and I thought that I was up against a chromatic enemy. I thought this was a boss, and it was just one of the foot soldiers, and it was very, very hard. But Monoko is in my party, so now he has blue mage from in-game post-game content, and he's kicking ass with that one.
Yeah.
I think that one, I'm not certain, but that one either does goes for shielded enemies, and it will bypass their shields and do extra damage for how much shields they are. It's either that one or this one that just does a shitload of combo over and over again. I can't remember which one it is. But
The one that
legit.
pierces shields and does more damage for how many shields they have is so good.
The only thing I don't like compared to Mael's version of that is Mael's also breaks the shields. Monoko's just pierces it and ignores it. So somebody still has to break all the shields if he uses it.
Also, I've been forced to get good at parrying now against my will, because there is a chromatic enemy in I think it was the Visage Axon dungeon. There's a chromatic enemy on a side path whose entire thing. He's the chromatic version of the guy with a bunch of arms, who I already hated. I don't like that kind of enemy. And this time it's okay, so this guy's gimmick is if you have good agility, or you're using the one Picto that lets you go first, you get 1 turn. And then once it's his turn, you never get another turn unless you counter him. The only way you have to keep countering him until you break him, and that gives you 2 turns. And then he'll go back to, no, it's always his turn. You have to just keep countering him. And you might be okay, well, that doesn't sound too bad. But his moves come in. The easiest one to counter is he has one that hits you 4 times quickly. The timing on it's pretty easy, not hard to counter. But it looks almost identical to a different combo sequence, which is I think, if I remember correctly, 8 or 10 hits. much harder just because of how many there fucking are. And then the worst one is he has one that's just, if this hits you, it just kills you. It's one hit KO.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm not gonna bother. I'm gonna dodge that one. Fuck you.
Yeah, that
you had to
fight
get good at
was
parrying.
interesting.
It was a really interesting boss fight. It forced me to get good at parrying, but also it was so frustrating.
Speaking of optional boss fights, so the first axon I did was Visage. That's the one Verso recommends. You go there, and a creature called the Mask Keeper, which turns out to be the actual axon, greets you, and it's like the Visage is waiting for you down this path, and the expedition's like, what about those other paths? And the Mask Keeper says, oh, you can go down those paths as well as if you like. And so I immediately think, I'm going to go down the optional paths because I want to get all the treasure and shit. However, it turns out I misread which path I was being directed to, and ended up going down the critical path first. And so I realized that as I get to the end boss, and I'm like, okay, whatever, I'll just do the boss and do the optional stuff later. Turns out the optional paths have mini bosses you can fight which weaken Visage. And turns out if you don't do those, Visage is fucking hard. And I actually adored the extremely difficult boss fight that I had to do. It was so hard, it was so thrilling, it really felt like the fight that Verso had been building us up for. It was so cool. And it was just insane because, like, I would do a bunch of damage. I would have his health really low, and then he'd be like, okay, I'm going to heal myself. Do a thing where I can move a second time. I'm going to apply exhaust to you. I'm going to apply bound to you, which means you can't dodge. And while you're not dodging, I'm going to do a bunch of weak attacks. I'm going to get one shield for every hit. And then I'm going to apply shell, rush, and powerful to myself.
Obscene.
And I was just like, this is fucking insane. And I honestly loved it. And then when you go to Siren, all of the optional bosses that weaken her are pretty much just on the main path. And so I did them, and then I fought Siren, and it was pretty easy. And I was just like, oh.
Yeah, I did the I did the thing with the Visages, or the Visage, I don't know. The mask guy. I fought his optionals. So I got the easy version with both, as I think Sam did too. I did have a weird thing where I also kind of got lost because the optional side paths that take you to those other bosses, you go up to like these big masks that are open mouths, and then you get a cutscene of you walking in and it eating you, and then you're turned around and in a new area. But I didn't realize it was in a new area because I looked around and saw it right there, and it looked so much like the area it had before that I was like, oh, I don't know what that cutscene was about. And so maybe if I do it again, it'll do something. Walked back into it, doing this exact same cutscene, which put me back in the main area. And so I was like, I don't know what that was about. I'll go check another area. And so I went around. That second branch is when I realized it's teleporting me to a new section and not turning me up around. Which was funny because that meant I did the second to the left area first, which was the most annoying of the mini bosses. Bernard, so the way these mini bosses work is that they're the same 3 sets of enemies every time. They're like the standard 3 kinds of enemies that are in this whole area. And in each one, though, one of them is the boss, like is empowered by the mask. And so that's the one that has the boss health bar and the one that really matters. And the second from the left path, which I remember correctly was the anger one, I think. It was the sorrow one. It was the sad one. It was so awful to do that one first because that's the one where the one who's the boss health one is a flying enemy. So the only way to hit it is by shooting it. And then the boss, its main thing is if it hits you, it exhausts you. And so
God.
It is so annoying when you hit a point where no one has any AP. You can't gain AP. And you're just sitting there going, what the fuck? This is so bullshit.
Yeah, when
That's
I
hilarious.
after I beat Visage, I went back to the other areas because I was like, I want to get all the treasure, and I would like go through them, picking up treasure, and then I would just sort of reach the end, and there'd be nothing there, and I'd be like, that's weird that this just is a dead end and it doesn't like wrap around, or there's not like a boss here, because I guess after you kill the Axon, the mini bosses are gone. So I was just like, this is weird, and then later I realized, oh, there were optional bosses there that I should have killed.
Speaking of the only thing that does damage is shooting people, the entire Siren dungeon, about half of them are flying enemies that you can't hit with your regular stuff. And so I was like, well, dang it. I built Mael to be my like taker carer of her, and none of her stuff can reach. So let me just waste her turn and go into stanceless and shoot. Oh, I shot for
No,
9999 damage.
did do the same thing, but basically did almost every fight in the Siren area. I start a fight and I kill everyone immediately without having to have to go to another character. Because I have the thing where I get like
Especially-
3 AP whenever I kill an enemy, so
Yeah.
I get 3 more shots. It's
Yeah, I had
so
that for my L
good.
too.
My Verso build is absolutely fucking insane right now because like I have Luminous equipped that power up his free shots, and so I'll do the free shots, I'll take out a flying enemy, get 3 AP back. I'll do a bunch of free shots. At this point I've marked an enemy with one of my shots and then shot the marked enemy that gives me another 2 AP. I basically just do this until I run out of AP. Then I do a standard attack. I have a Lumina equipped that makes my standard attack do 2 attacks, which gives me 2 AP. And then I have my weapon, I think, that I have on, makes him take a second turn after a base attack. And so then I just have a whole other turn with him. And also, his base attacks generate a ton of perfection now. So I'll go from like rank D to rank A in one turn, just from doing all the free shots and then doing my 2-hit base attack. It's insane. I love it. I love this game.
So when I was doing that ice dungeon that I'm not supposed to do yet, I fight the first one. It takes me like 6 tries to beat the first thing, and then I realize it's not the boss because I continue behind it, and there's a bunch more of them. But this game doesn't have random battles. You can just run away and not run into them. And so I was just juking all of them and getting all this in-game loot, and I got enough of the next level up whatever shard
Catalyst?
it is, catalyst, yeah. And so I got the glorious catalyst, which lets you level it up to like level 36 or something. And so as soon as I got this weapon to level 18, I then had enough to get her all the way to 25. So her weapon now
Insane.
it has like 2000 damage.
Holy shit.
It's so good.
I also did what you're describing, but not that much. I didn't go too far into the over-leveled areas because I was scared. I did go in and like have a boss fight against a basic enemy and to get its leg, and then grab a couple items and then run away.
Okay, but also I just realized thing to talk about is with those fucking Axon dungeons. Up to that point, I can't remember the name for the exact kind of catalyst, but like the one that you can use to get things up to level 19, like they were like delicious treats you found for doing a side boss, and you hoarded them and used them wisely. And then the Axon dungeon, they're everywhere, and every enemy fight gives you some.
Yeah.
And so by the end, you've got a mountain of them, and the experience you get for all of it is so ridiculously high. You get so leveled on those Axon dungeons. I love it. Also,
yeah, returning to camp after an Axon dungeon feels real good because you and the curator have a party.
Yeah. Also, the Siren dungeon just aesthetically is gorgeous.
It's so cool.
The central conceit of like it's this giant like if the Colosseum was a fucking skyscraper sort of thing with this giant empty area in the middle, and Siren is this giantess in the center singing the entire time. So as you're going around her and going up and down and all these different levels, she's always just over there, and the environmental sound, if you have headphones on, is always like you just hear her calling song to you from the middle. I love it.
Yes.
It's also fantastic in surround sound.
Oh, I imagine. I was just you listening with stereo speakers. So it wasn't very special for me, but I did like it. I'm excited because presumably we're going to fight that third axon that Verso mentioned. Presumably.
Once we
So
can
I'm
get
excited to
fucking, once we can get SK's ass up in the air, yeah.
Yeah, so I didn't mention that the new rock CL gives him does not let him fly, but it does let him swim through coral reefs.
Yes.
Uh
Which feels very much like a Pokemon HM.
yes, it does. SK is our HM Pokemon.
He totally is. Also, the
Libero.
the thing in the scene where they're just like, "Oh, hey, it's one of SK's rocks. Neat. We'll have to give it to him.
Yeah.
He'll be happy." It's just like such a silly, like with the last time all we did to get the rock, and they just find one and they're like, "Oh, cool."
And that scene specifically CL's like, "Oh, hey, look, this looks like one of SK's rocks. Let's give it to him." And Luna's just like, "Yeah, that's great." The way she says it is so funny.
So speaking of the Siren dungeon, there's when you finally get all the way to the bottom, you find a gestrel there, but it's not the gestrel merchant. It's the gestrel laid out on the floor, and his line is, quote, "Whoever built this Colosseum sucks."
Oh, it's so good. This game is great.
So Maddie Grace pointed something out to me that I feel stupid for not having noticed. The gestrels are those wooden figure model things that painters use.
Oh yeah, the little posable
And I was
ones.
like,
Yeah, that makes sense.
I can't believe that never occurred to me that that's what they are, but that's totally what it is, and I felt stupid.
Okay, but speaking of painters, so as I said, so we're all on the same page. Mael's definitely Amelia. Was that her name?
Alicia.
Alicia. Sorry, God, my name. I'm not. My brain's not great, guys. But like we're all the same. Like somehow they're the same person. But also with that whole thing when you look at the curator and she sees what seems to be a version of, I'm forgetting his name, old man.
Renoir.
She sees Renoir. It's like, oh yeah, that's just trauma. Yeah, I get nightmares of him too. And we've seen several. I think at least one other. There's the woman one, but I think we could possibly even say it's like a third one of these, the curator type faceless weird things. I think there's also I linked those two. I wonder if the paintress herself is a similar kind of being. In which case, is there like that's like the highest level of whatever they are at this point. And then there's the white-haired versions of them. There's Verso and Renoir and Mael. And then you have Mael, or not Mael, but Alicia. Then you have Mael and whoever this generation's version of them are, as they're apparently reborn again, even though they're not fucking dead yet. That's just my current theory, and if that theory is correct, I would think maybe Mael is the paintress. Like, I think it would be really fascinatingly with her whole character arc. What if she's the paintress?
Yeah, that's my pet theory as well.
I was about to.
Mael's not only Alicia, she's also the paintress.
I was about to say a big Final Fantasy X spoiler, and then I was like, that game is 24 years old, but I still probably shouldn't say it.
So in that ice dungeon, not to just keep bringing it up, but I noticed the next line in my notes is also about it. But when you first arrive there, Verso is like, "Ah, yes, feels like coming home." And they're like, "What do you mean?" And he says, "Me and Monoko lived together on this mountain for some time." And CL's response is, "Wow, bromantic."
Yeah, that's literally what she says. Do y'all think Verso and Monoko have explored each other's bodies?
I was gonna ask literally
I know
the same question. It's phrased identically.
I know that Verso has explored CL's body because I unlocked that scene this week.
So
did
I. Weird.
And then I said no. I didn't have it. I said no, it's not happening. I had just like, nah, thanks. Let's not do that.
Yeah,
sorry. I'm mashing CL and Lune's faces together like they're my dolls. Fuck you, Verso. Go sleep with your Destro buddy.
I like the idea of bisexual Queen CL hooking up with Verso, but also it felt like she was cheating on Lune, and I didn't like it.
Yeah, the thing is, like, listen, Sam, I am, as you're very aware, I'm the most poly. I'm very poly. I have 7 girlfriends or wives. I think I'm the one. I would be fine with polyamory, but I feel like this is a kind of game where if something was happening, it wouldn't be polyamory. It would be these two characters are together now monogamously, and I don't want that on CL. No, thank you. Don't date the older beard.
So
I did
God.
look it up. I did look it up, and apparently, choosing to pursue a romantic involvement with CL, or apparently it's possible with Lune, which that's just so weird.
That's
it
so
doesn't
weird.
actually
Yeah,
affect
Lune's gay.
anything, and also CL and Verso is definitively canonically a fling.
Okay, that's
It's
nice.
not like
Yeah.
they're not
Like,
like a couple.
Good. Okay, good.
Yeah, after it happens, I'd forget exactly what they say, but they're both just like, look, we both have insomnia. We both haven't seen anybody our age in a very long time. Why not? And they're like, you know what? Why not? And that's all it is.
And then
She's her one true love is still Lune.
and later, like, you can continue building your relationship level, and then later on they're like, okay, that was fun, let's call it off now, let's not do that anymore, apparently, is how it goes. And so it's like, okay, that feels better.
Did either of you? I don't remember what week this was from. It's in my physical Min Mom's book, and it's written in a different color pen, so it might be from the last couple of weeks. But did you guys get to the library in the manor?
Yes, it's
Did
silly.
you interact with the books?
Yes.
So you run into this stack of books, and it just Lost Odyssey treasure chests, those books all over the fucking room. It's ridiculous.
And you like have to do a weird sort of a platforming challenge. That room,
Oh, yes,
did we
that
talk?
one.
Did we talk about the Great Ascension?
Oh yeah, we had shitty parkour, then shitty volleyball, and now we have shitty only up.
Oh, okay.
It was so
okay,
good.
I didn't remember it being called that. Yes, I loved this. Of all the ones so far of the Gestrel Beach stuff, I did the best at this. My second time I got the gold. I loved it.
It was so stupid. It was so long. I kept getting to a part and being like, okay, I'm definitely at the end now. But then no.
Even at the end they do a fake out, so you land and there's the Destro right in front of you, which in all of the other ones has been the guy that's like, oh, you made it, good job, but he just says like, welcome to the party or something, and you're like, shit, am I not actually done? But it's just stairs. The last only up is just stairs. You can't fall off. It's nice, but I was like, oh no, there's gonna be fucking more.
Okay,
I
think I did a
done.
different thing than you guys did. I think the thing I did like an obstacle course. I don't know what an only ups is, and when you describe it that way, that's not what
Is
I
that
did.
like a Roblox term or something?
No, it's a Faudian game that was popular for a while, but it got taken off of Steam for something. I can't remember what it was. It was at GDQ a couple GDQ events ago.
What I'm talking about is the one where there's just like a bunch of shit floating in the sky in a vaguely vertical orientation, and you just got to jump on it and jump until you reach the top.
About.
And then when you get to the
different.
top, there's a bunch of Gestrels dancing and having a party, and then you have to go up some stairs. Yeah,
I really need to find that because that sounds really cool. Place I found was the. It was just like an obstacle course. There was running and jumping and climbing, and stuff, and you're timed, and you get a swimsuit for it. And I got a swimsuit.
Oh yeah, the timing one. I found that one too. I got it like second try. That one was fun and easy too. I remember it now.
I think for the Great Ascension, I got a swimsuit for Minoko.
What? Interesting. Cool.
Yeah.
I'm glad he gets a swimsuit. I currently have everyone else in like great fashion, and I have Verso in the French, like the beret and the striped shirt. It's so fun.
Oh! Did you guys get the fancy outfits for everybody this week? So you get the pure white one.
Yes, I did.
So you get the 3 for the
From
girls.
the poet? Yes, I love it. It's so good.
Yeah. I don't remember where I found Verso's, but I was like sad that Verso didn't get one, and then I found it later. I'm like, all right, now we all match. Now it's all cool, and everyone looks
But
badass.
Speaking of fancy outfits, there's an even fancier outfit that we got in the stuff we covered last week. There was in the Forgotten Battlefield. There's a Gestrel merchant who's out of the way you can find, who has a outfit you can get for Mael that is called Obscur. The same way
Yes.
I love that outfit so much. She has not taken it off since I got it for her. I need everyone in the party to get one, but if it's only her, that's also okay because she is a special girl and she deserves to wear the most fucking cool shit I've ever seen.
It has like a giant bat wing coming out of the shoulder or something. It's great.
Yeah, I also got all of girl team short bobs, and CL's is still the curly hair. But so when I had girl team, I had a bob on Mael, a bob on Lune, and curly hair on CL, and it was extra fashion. And then the guy gave me like, oh, you have girls team? Here you go. Have a special girls team outfit for a while. It was very good.
I can't remember. I can't remember the name of the hairstyle that I have on Mael. It's not her standard hairstyle. It's like some sort of braid. It's just a hairstyle I thought looked really good. And then Lune I have on her normal hairstyle, and then I have CL wearing the beret just because I think it looks good. And then Verso I have with his regular hairstyle. Did y'all get the optional dialogue where Verso reveals that he dyes his hair because naturally it's all white?
Yeah.
And apparently the streaks of white in his hair are because the gestural hairdresser he goes to is a fuck up.
It's so good. I love that.
Yeah. Do you guys get the Gustav haircut for Verso?
Yes.
I think I did. Yeah, I did.
Yeah. A, it looks really good on him. B, I'm starting to get Trish face where I just think it's Gustav for a second.
Okay, wait.
Change it.
I forgot to say with my theory of like the iterations of these characters, I'm starting to wonder if Verso isn't like subjectively a replacement for Gustav. What if Gustav was his equivalent in like he that was the Verso and Mael is the like that would be really funny.
But I no longer have him in the Gustav haircut because the level 4 or 5 Monoko friend quest, they braid each other's hair. And so Verso gets a samurai top knot and Monoko gets like Viking braids that he can wear. And so they're wearing their bro hair now. It's very good.
I love Verso and Minoka's scenes together. They're so silly. And one of them you actually have a duel with Minoka that you actually fight, and it's really fun. I love it. I'm trying to bring up my screenshots now.
The final one that I have is in the piano playing scene. It's long and involved, and Verso plays the whole song, and Mael's like, "Oh wow, it was really good. Can you play me something else?" And he goes, "Yeah." And so he starts, and she laughs, and he immediately stops and looks at her, and she like backs up, like, "Oh, I'm sorry," and then he continues playing, and it's such a good moment.
It's really good.
One thing I love about the filmmaking and the acting in this is that everyone sort of just like acts like everybody has different ways of interacting with each other in ways that you don't always see in video games. Like CL is just like a little more like, I don't know, she touches people more than other people do.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how to say that without it sounding weird, but things like that. Characters have very different ways they move and interact with people, and I love it. Did y'all get an armband for Esquier that goes around his face like an eye patch?
Yes. It's the best.
Yes.
It's so good. I love him.
Esquier is so good. Oh, there was this one scene where Verso and Esquier are talking, and Esquier talks about people being grumpy because of all the things they've lost, and Verso's like, "You've lost your stones and stuff. Why aren't you grumpy?" And Esquier says, "I am grumpy," and it's so cute.
It's like I know because he just doesn't say grumpy. He's like, "Oh, I'm woohoo, but other people are woohoo," and it's like,
Yes.
"Why aren't you like that?" He's like, "I am. I'm that and woohoo at the same time."
Specifically, it's we and ooh because Verso's snarky comeback is, "Oh, so I guess that's your Wii U.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's so good.
I don't remember the context of this, but I have a screenshot of Esquier saying stars are the apples of the sky.
Yes, I love that line.
And I'm like, I guess sure.
I love this game.
This game is so good.
It's so good.
I look forward to when we get to talk about more of it because we've played more of it.
Yes.
So they go to the snowy area, and Ciel's really excited about the snow because they don't get snow in Lumiere, and her husband apparently loved snow, the idea of snow. But the whole time we're going through there, I'm like, Lune, aren't your feet cold? You're gonna get frostbite.
She doesn't walk. She floats.
She
doesn't
walks
walk.
when you're going
She's fine.
slowly. But also, like,
Why would you go slowly?
But even if you're floating, like, she's gonna get cold. Anyway.
So yeah, I think that will do it for the week. If you like what you heard today, you can head on over to www.rpgbook.club, where any and all donations help us offset the cost of running the show. If you decide to donate $1 more a month, you'll become one of our gadabouts and get access to our bonus feed filled with after shows for every episode, as well as bonus seasons of the show, such as Tales of Podcastia, the Escape Pod, and the JRPG Canon. If you up your donation to $5 or more each month, you can become one of our warriors and get your name read at the end of every episode, a little like this. Shoutouts to Dragonslayer19, Freddie Rodriguez, Aaron524, and JFro Prime. And then if you really, really love us and you want to be one of our luminaries, you can donate $20 or more a month and get a short one-sentence shout-out or advert read at the end of each episode, a little like this. Shoutouts to El Tantavi, who wants you to check out aftermath.site, a worker-owned, reader-supported news site covering video games, the internet, and the cultures that surround them. Shoutouts to Kale Dranas, who says to check out Podcasters Assemble. It's a documentary-style, crowdsourced movie hype and rewatch podcast. Every season, podcasters from around the world are assembled to review, reminisce, and riff on a popular franchise. And then shoutouts to Vimk, who says, he was old, but he was goddamn ghastly. And then shoutouts to It's Claire Time, who says, for you TTRPG nerds, check out Fabula Ultima. I'm not affiliated with the game, I just think it's neat. For RPG Book Club, I've been Sam.
I'm Bernard.
And I'm Trish.
Toodaloo, folks.
Bye-bye.